Right guys, so we're out walking into Beverley. Our plan is today is to go and find out some information, if we can, about the old Beverley Westwood Hospital. So we're heading in the direction of the town, Beverley Town Centre, to go to the library. To all being well, I don't know if you can. It's years and years since I've been in the library and I've never done this sort of stuff before, but we're going to go try and find if we can rather get a copy of an old little survey map from the 50s, or find some literature in a book with maybe a photo in or something like that. Because the plan is we're going to send a drone up and we are going to get some drone footage and take a photo from above and try and ghost image some sort of over the top, so it's laid over the top, so we can try and find out what buildings and streets are in line with where the hospital was. So we're heading off now over to the library to get a library card, and we'll see how it goes. Not a bad day, it's not raining, it's not too cold. Santa comes shortly, so all being well we'll have some goodies to work with at Christmas time. The podcast is going to be we've got an argument going on here. What's all that all about? It's always good what you see when you're out and about. Yeah, it's always fun that. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. We're heading to Beverley. We might even find a tourist information if there is one in Beverley, and go ask them some questions and see if we can find out anybody knows anything. And the other thing we're planning on doing as well is to put a bit of paranormal shoved in there with it. See if I can get hold of anybody who used to work there, see if I come up with any stories of strange ongoing things, because it was it's founded in 1861, and I think it only shut, Beverley Hospital shut about maybe 10 years ago, so it's got some history with it. World War II, where Morrison's is, at the other side of the bypass, is obviously, there was an army barracks there, East Yorkshire Regiment I believe it was. We'll have to have a look, check that out. But before we go any further, welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy the content. It's going to be a bit sketchy for the next few weeks till we get into it and get more equipment and get it running properly, but I hope this little video gives you a bit of an insight into what I'm planning to do with the channel. It'll be good to see if we can get a local historian and get him to come for a walk with us and give us a lowdown on certain areas of Beverley. I'm also going to have because we're dealing with the hospital, I'm also going to try and get talk to a friend and see if I can get to go to a battery just yon side of Beverley, because that will have been tied in World War II with the hospital. So that's our plan. So I'll bring you back a bit later as we're walking through the town centre, and we'll see how we get on at the library. Right guys, I'm back at my own QTH. I've been to the library for the first time in literally years. I'm not a reader. So anyway, I've been in and I got a little
pack like this, and it's, as you can see, it says more than just a library. Download your free library app. Wow. East Yorkshire Riding of Council. So anyway, I have my library pass. So now I can get into the library and look for information about the good old Beverley Hospital, Minster Hospital, whatever it is. So anyway, it was a good experience in the respect of the first lady who signed me up was very helpful. She asked, because I asked about obviously if she had any sort of books or anything like that on Beverley and the Beverley Hospital, the Westwood Hospital. She basically said I'd have to have a look through, but she did help, and she did find me one book about the other side of things that we're doing is the old army barracks. So she was very, very helpful, and she said I'd probably be better off at the archives. So I asked her where it was, and she walked me down and showed me where it was, and I went in and I spoke to a guy. It was quite helpful. I explained to him what I was after, and he told me to Google National Libraries of Scotland and go on to their digital archive on there, and you can see maps and photos and stuff, and then if there's anything I wanted, I can take the reference number and I can go back, get an appointment, go back, and get these pictures and our little survey maps. So that's really a good way for information. So it then gets a little bit weird, because he then asked me what I was actually going to be doing with the information. So I did say to him what I was doing. I said that I'm going to be making a small documentary video for YouTube regarding the hospital and how it's changed over the years. And I said to him I want to chuck a little bit of paranormal stuff in there. I'm going to try and get hold of anybody who used to work at the hospital, and try and maybe ask if they'd do a little interview and tell us exactly what it was like working there, and if there's any strange goings on that they've seen. And the other side of things, what I explained to him was I want to do an image, so I want to get an aerial shot of the hospital when it was there, and I want to get an aerial shot of the housing estate, ghost image it and put it over the top so you can see how it's changed over the years. I said I'm hoping that I don't have to get the drone out and go onto Westwood and try and get a nice day. It's winter now. Try and get a nice day to take the drone up and get some aerial shots and try and sort of like marry them up so you can see what was there and what is there now. And the lady who was sat next to him was very very opinionated into what was going on. He did show me some stuff, and I asked to take a photo with my phone, and I had the movie camera on my chest. It was switched off, and she was like, "Is that camera on? You can't film in here." And I was like, "No, it's not on. I actually switched it off before I went into the building. I'm not going to provoke anybody to get a reaction out of them because I've got a camera on me. I'm going there because I want to do this bit of research and make this little documentary." and I showed her the camera was off. And then she said, you can't film or take photos in a library. So I was like, oh, it's all right. I said, I'm not going to take a photo of anything that's around. I said, I'm just literally going to get my phone and take a photo of an overshot of the army barracks. So then I could get a recent shot of what's there now and do exactly the same and try and build a map up like that. Oh, she went, well, you can't be doing that, we have to photocopy it, blah blah, or print you it out, and it's 25p a copy and all this. And I thought, oh, I'm not going to get into it. It's only 25p, but I'm not going to get into an argument. I don't need it yet. So I just said, oh no, I'll leave it. I said, I'll go online and whatever I need, I said, I'll just book in one Saturday and come down, pick it up and pay you for it, or whatever it is. So she was like, yes, but I still don't think you're going to need, you should be flying a drone over people's houses. What if there's kids in the garden? So I was like, well, I'm not being funny, but it's going to be quite high up. I went, it's going to be about 300 feet. I said, everything's like proper small. I said, so you're not going to see owl. I said, and I don't get, well, you know, these kids in the garden. I said, yeah, but if a parent lets a kid in a garden run around naked in these day and ages, there's somewhat not right. I said, and to be fair, I went, if that was the case, if I did see anything, I would try and find the house and knock on the door and say, look, I've got this image, watch me delete it, or whatever. I know I shouldn't have to because it's in, they don't own the airspaces and Google fly over and, you know, and all that, Google Earth and all that, but I was like, I'm not being funny, but it's irrelevant to what I'm doing. I said, I'm hoping I don't need to do it. I said, because I'm more certain there'll be a Google image out there. So anyway, we've come back, I'm rambling on a little bit, but we've come back and we've gone on to the National Library of Scotland and we've found some maps which are very, very interesting. Yeah, they are very, very interesting because it's side by side maps. So you find where you want to be on your modern map and it brings up the old map. And I've actually got a map from I've got a map from 1865 to a modern map, and you can see you can if you put it over, you can see where the hospital is and you can see what's there now, and it's quite good, it's quite interesting because it's side by side. So that's another good thing. We've got some photos as well of the actual layout of the actual hospital. I've managed to get some photos of inside the hospital, and I'm just about now going to go onto Facebook and see if I can locate somebody on the Beverley page that could maybe put me in touch with somebody who used to work at the hospital, so we can get an idea of what it was like to work there and stuff like that. So it'd be quite interesting, but it's going to be hard work. So stick with me on my journey of sorting this out because I think it's going to be interesting. And the guy who I spoke to in the archive said, oh, well, how long's this going to take you? I said, how long's a piece of string? I went, I could hit brick walls, I might not find anybody. I've messaged a few people on Facebook who's actually written a paranormal book regarding Beverley, so I'm hoping to be able to speak to him and say, look, do you know of anything that's happened around there or on the site, and take it from there. We've got a podcast going to be done. I'm hoping to maybe get to speak, like I say, get to speak to people who work there, and you know, get an idea of what it was like to work in an hospital that was founded in 1861. On surely there's got to be some sort of paranormal stuff going on around there, so it'll be quite interesting. There might not be, but we've not set out to do that. We've actually set out so we can map the area from then to now, and just try and link it with the barracks. That's the other thing. I want to try and link it with the barracks and see what the hospital had to do with the barracks in the war. If any injured servicemen came back to barracks and ended up going there for surgery, or do you know what I mean? That sort of stuff. And there's a battery just down the road. A friend of ours who owns a farm, he's got a battery on there, which is Buck Farm, which he's done quite a lot of work with it at the minute, and put doors on it, and when he's got all the grant to do it all. And they've had a bit of vandalism up there, but they've caught the kids that have done it, and they're being punished and sorted out. And I'm hoping to get up there and go, well, this is the battery, and this is what it was, and get some photos of the battery and say this is what, and just give you an insight. This channel's about interesting things in your local area in Yorkshire, hence why I've called it Yorkshire Lad Media. We're going to cover quite a lot in this area: Hull, Grimsby, Market Wheat, in that area. So it's going to be quite an interesting thing that we're going to be doing. So stick with me. I know I've rabbled on a little bit, but this video is only just to give you an insight of what I'm doing and how I've got the information so far. And then obviously I'll do more videos and upload them as we're going along, and then fingers crossed we'll get in touch with somebody and we maybe have a little interview and find out what it was like to work there. Somebody who worked there on a night. I don't even know if it was open on a night, I don't know, but obviously I presume my mum had surgery done there years ago before I was born, and I know that they had wards and obviously she had to stay in, so maybe we'll find somebody that used to work there and can give us some information and tell us about the place and what it was like. So stick with me, there's some more footage coming.